Hey everybody, it's Strict9 with Strict9 GP, and I'm back with another episode of this San Francisco Giants playthrough with Out of the Park 22. So we're going to start off Season 5 with this team. This is the 2025 season. Going to play out probably the first month or so of the season to see how we start. Uh, this is kind of make or break year. I feel like 5 years in, if I'm not going to make any kind of headway with this team, it may be time to rethink uh, what I'm doing, maybe pick up another team. Uh, we'll just have to see how this season goes. But I really hope to have a winning record. Playoffs will probably be a stretch still, but it just depends. I mean, if we're showing some life, and if some of the young guys that I'm counting on, especially on the pitching side, start developing, I might be setting myself up for something in the next 2 or 3 years. But for now, it's going to be tough to be competitive in this division, especially with the Dodgers. I mean, they're going to be, I think, the team to beat for a while in this game. But we'll get it started and see how it goes. I wanted to go over the team, look at lineups and rosters and the pitching staff that I landed on. As always, I kind of like to start here, at the position rankings. This is ratings based on OSA. I think it gives you a good idea of how your team stacks up against the competition. So, these first four players here, we got top 10 players at catcher. Baum is a top 5 player. Devers, 7th. Simmons, there was some debate even. I think I got a comment from a viewer. Simmons is still valuable with that defense. So, hopefully, I've got some offense this year that might help him a little bit. Then we get to the outfield, and it's really thin. And that's where I think we're going to have some problems if some of these guys like Profar in particular, if he doesn't give me the numbers I was hoping he would give me, like that 2023 season from San Diego. I know he's getting up there in age, but I'm hoping he bounces back a little bit and is productive. But then on the pitching side, they've got Chris Rodriguez here listed as a closer. I'm going with him as a setup guy for now, but I do think our pitching staff is serviceable with the bullpen or with the ballpark factors here. So we'll ride that one out. I did make a waiver claim as well. I don't know how I'm gonna fit him in if it turns out that I pick him up, but Around the World Sports, one of my viewers also kind of suggested I pick him up. I think when you look at his numbers, he's pitching in the West Division too with the Dodgers, for what it's worth. I mean, since even in his time with Tampa Bay in 2020, I mean, this guy has looked good for the last few years. So, if I can pick him up, there's going to be an odd man out on that pitching staff. I don't know what I'll do, but I do think he gives me a little bit better value than some of the guys on our team. He's an extreme ground ball, as Around the World Sports pointed out, but, he's got incredible velocity. And so I think he would be a good guy to have in that setup slot, or one of the setup slots in the rotation. But then we'll take a look at the pitching staff in general. One thing I am going to try early on, Brody Westbrooks, who really developed quick. I mean, he is a first-round pick. He's 15th in the prospect rankings. This guy is coming all the way up from high A. This could be a gamble, but he's 23. He's coming out of Georgia Tech. So he could be ready to go. I really think he looked good in the spring. He's still got some development to go. With starters, I like him to have good stamina, but also 3 above average pitches. He gets that screwball up to its potential. I mean, I think he's going to be really good. But I am going to limit his pitch count for now. That's not, it's not too limiting, but I don't want him to get too burned out, at least this first half of the year. But you see how I'm going with the rest of the team. I'm putting Abram in that second slot, even though I think he's the best pitcher we have right now. Going with Barrios to start, then Schmidt again. He's a 3-star pitcher with 4 above average pitches and good stamina. He should give us good numbers. I think maybe last year was a little bit of an off year for him, so I'm hoping he has a better year. And then Santos in the 4 spot, he has the 3 above average pitches that I like. His stamina's not the greatest, but he was a 2+ wins above average pitcher last year. I think I'll be happy if he gives me that again in that 4 slot. And then I am going with Lang, who I picked up in a trade. I'm going with him in the closer role. I hope he looks good in San Francisco. The lineup side, it gets a little bit crazy when you look at the outfield because, I don't know how good we're going to be here. Ramos, my scout doesn't like him as well as OSA does. Well, no, I'll take that back. OSA is even kind of taking a dive on him. He has good power. Eye and discipline is okay. I just don't think he's going to be an everyday solution long term. Might be that I have to upgrade at that position if we're competitive, around the All-Star break. I just don't know. But the rest of the lineup seems to be pretty set. Against lefties, I'll have a chance to play like Slater, for instance, Hernandez, get those guys in there more often. But I think we're going to struggle against right-handed pitching for the most part. But let's get started at it. We're going to be starting out on the road against Texas. I think all my roster spots are set, but we'll take a look on the first sim. Nope. So we've got Westbrook's. I guess I didn't put him on the 40. And try it again. So we lose opening game 2-5. We had a couple hits from Profar and Ramos. Barrios, he was hit pretty hard. He's going to need San Francisco, I think. He's going to need that ballpark to help him out. Second game, an 11-0 shutout, but we got a personal message. I hope that's okay. So we did pick up Fairbanks. Now I got to figure out what to do there. But this was a great game. Bohm 4 for 5, 4 RBIs from Simeon. 6 RBIs from Miyazaki. I guess he had 2 home runs. And then pitching, Abram didn't stay in there too long, but he did. His pitch count was up pretty high at 100. I had him at a pitch count for last year. I've removed that. I think I had him as a pitch count, but I'm letting him go as long as he can this year. His stamina's above average, but I feel 6 innings on average is probably what I'll get from him. But a great game there. Now we got to really figure out what to do with Fairbanks. So I think he should be a setup guy. But what, I hate to move Jelly back, but man, his numbers I think are borderline suspect. Last year, 77 1/3 innings. His whip was decent. I don't know. I think it's probably he's the odd man out here. And then I'll put Fairbanks there in the mix. But now he's not going to go. Jeez, that's the problem. He's not going to go as a middle relief, I don't think. I think I like him better at setup. And maybe put him in the 6th inning and see how that works. We'll just have 4 setup guys. See how that plays out. So game 3 against Texas, we lose 3-6. Not a great opening series. Miyazaki, another couple hits from him. Ramos, he's hitting quite a bit. And then Schmidt, man, 5 runs in 5 innings. Not good. So luckily we're out of that one, but we go to Colorado on the road. Never an easy time there. And power ranking is already out, but it's really early. I want to check the waiver wire again. It's usually pretty hot early in the season. It's calmed down a little bit. Tanner Scott, I think he would be probably a decent pickup, but and nobody on the batter side. All right, so let's hope we get some wins here in Colorado because we got Los Angeles coming up. And Fernandez, nobody picked him up. He was out there on waivers. In terms of what I got down there in AAA, I mean, there's some guys, Blankenhorn, I moved him down, and he's angry, of course, but he's somebody I could call up if say Ramos, McKenna, those guys, or even Slater if they start struggling. But I really wanted to give Slater some time. A lot of it's based on what he did in a previous season with us. The first year I took over this team was a solid year from him, but he didn't equal that. Hasn't even really come close since. So game 1 against Colorado, we lose 2-8. Not good. McKenna got a start there. I'm platooning him against lefties because really Miyazaki's terrible against lefties. Santos, not good. So the starters are really getting hit hard away from San Francisco right now. Game 2, 5-1. So we're already 1-4 for the season. Bohm, averages up there, but no home runs, no RBIs. Westbrook's his first official start, and he's injured, but just a minimal injury. He'll be better, or he'll be good to go in his next start. So game 3 at Colorado, big win. So the wins we've had have been big, 11-0, now 14-2. Profar, he's starting out okay. Bohm still struggling. Devers is struggling. Man, just 3 hits and 27 at-bats. Trump, backup catcher, had a great game, 5 RBIs. And then Barrios, solid 7 innings from him to get the win. I'm going to check some news here while we go into the next series with Los Angeles. DeGrom injured just day to day. This would be a nice one if we can come up and win 2 of 3 here. They've still got Bauer on the team. But, man, Snell, some young guys there. Ooh, Jake Hunter. He was a first-round pick in 2021. He's looking good. So game 1 against Blake Snell, we lose 2-4. Slater in there starting at left. Didn't look too great. Devers still, Simeon and Devers both really struggling early. Abram, 5 innings, 4 runs. Bullpen didn't give up a run. And then game 2, 7-1. Man, we're struggling. Bohm, this can't continue. No home runs, no RBIs through the first 8 games. That's not a good sign. Schmidt, once again, hammered 5 runs in 5 2/3. So we got to salvage something here in game 3. We do. We win 3-1. Miyazaki off to a decent start, which is what he did last year. Before he was even an all-star last year because of a first half that he had. Santos picks up the win here, 7 2/3 strong, laying his first save, but he's yet to give up a run. And that was his first outing. So, a bad start so far, I gotta admit. Players of the week I always like looking at now. Mountcastle in Baltimore, Austin Riley. This guy has a lot of power. What is he up to? 185 home runs already. Power rankings were all the way down here somewhere, right? 25th. Not good. San Jose, though, looking good in AAA. I don't know that we're going to need pitching necessarily right now. I think I'm going to have to ride it a little bit further. We do have Sir Anthony Dominguez out there. Dodgers, man, they are so pitching deep. They can afford to give up guys like that, apparently. And the standings, Los Angeles, though, just 5-5 to start. You got Braves and Mets off to really good starts, 8-1. So it's early, but we're way down here at the bottom. We need a good week here. We got St. Louis, who are struggling, and then Atlanta. Game 1 against St. Louis, 1-2. Pitching's there, offense not. Westbrook's his best start, 6 innings, just 1 earned run. No, yeah, I mean that's the deepest he's gone. And then game 2 against St. Louis, 4-3, took extra innings to win it. Devers continues to struggle. Baum continues to struggle. Simeon, just not much offense. Barrios had a good outing, but Smith off to a poor start. Fairbanks, his first outing for us, but he looked really sharp in it. Game 3, can we win the series? Nope, 3-6, another extra inning game. So it's definitely a tale of no offense. Abram, another solid start. Frisbee, 3 runs to lose it in relief. Now we're up against Atlanta, and they're still, I'm sure, looking pretty good. Alex Verdugo hitting in a 20-game hitting streak going. So it's 10-3. Wow. This is going to be a tough one too. Game 1, we win 9-3. For what it's worth, when we win, it looks like we're scoring a lot of runs. Ramos, a good game here, 4 for 5, 3 runs, drove in 2. Baum picks up his first RBI, 13 games into the season. He's got a lot of catching up to do. Devers still struggling. He's got a lot of catching up to do. And then Schmidt, that is one thing I think about him. No, he's not the one I'm thinking of, but he had a great game at the plate, drove in 4 runs, and picked up his first win, 8 2/3 innings, almost a complete game. Game 2, we're going to be at Fried. We win it 5-4. Slater getting the start here, 3 runs, 3 RBIs. Devers may have had a home run here. And then Santos didn't get the win, but 6 1/3, I'll take it, laying his second save. And now game 3 against Atlanta, a sweep here would be awesome, but we can't do it. 3-8. Baum, another RBI, but Devers, man, 1 for 4 in this one. Simmons, surprisingly, is hitting above 300. And then Westbrook's really had a rough outing. 6 runs in 4 innings, 2 home runs. Frisbee's struggling. I'm surprised by that. He was really pretty solid last year in relief. So we got another tough week coming up against some National League East teams. Looking at some of the news around the league's Sale now with the Angels. And, this guy is still productive in this game. You see what he's done since I started this playthrough in 2021. That was an off year for him, but double digits in wins for 3 years. He's been with the Angels now. This is his 3rd season there. Averaged over 4 wins above replacement for 3 seasons. So he's still valuable in this game. Bregman hits for the cycle. He's another one that's pretty good. Verdugo up to 25 games now with his hitting streak. And Phillies playing 500. They're going to be I think they'll be a tough one. David Dahl now with Kansas City, Player of the Week, as well as Gavin Lux for the Dodgers. We're now 26th, so we dropped a spot in the power rankings, but we picked up a few more wins. We're 5-5 in the last 10. I think it's early, but if I look at the team stats, I know what's going on here. It's all around the offense. Pitching, a couple guys have inflated the starters' ERA, but pitching and defense were doing well, but man, no offense to speak of. We've got to get some guys going here. Hopefully we'll do it in Philadelphia. That's a good park to hit in. Waiver wire, still getting some 3-star pitchers out there, even including Minter. Atlanta may be giving up on him, but it's really the bats that I need. DJ Peters, a right-handed outfielder, really struggling with LA the last couple seasons. I don't know if there's any free agents. Benintendi's a lefty. Gurriel. I don't know if he would fit too well with San Francisco. So, gonna keep riding it out a little longer. Here we go. At Philadelphia, game 1, we lose 2-0. Again with this offense, just 6 hits, 2 of them were from the pitchers, or from Barrios. He pitched a solid game, solid outing again from him. Elledge has yet to give up a run, but he's not getting a whole lot of innings in. Game 2 against Philadelphia, we win 3-1 in extra innings. Profar a couple of hits, Devers a couple of hits, Baum playing his old team struggling, and then Abram, did he finally? No, he didn't get a win here. I think he's down. No, he's just got. I thought he was winless, but he has 1 win. Elledge picked up a win, and then Lane got the save. Game 3, we win 1-0. What a pitching series there. This was Schmidt, 8 innings, just 2 hits. Great outing from him. And Lang may have been shaky with 2 walks, but he got his 4th save. Good pace for him. Now going up against Atlanta, where are they now? Still winning, 12-6. So we win that series against Philly on the road. Let's hope we can win here at home. Game 1 against Fried, who's off to a tough start. We win 5-1. Man, our pitching is just carrying us. Bohm is 4th RBI, so he's on pace for 34 now. Maybe he's picking it up. Simmons still hitting pretty well. Bailey is struggling. Santos, his 2nd win, 7 really strong innings. I'm surprised he's given me that many innings, really. But I guess he kept his pitch count pretty low. And game 2 against DeGrom, 11-1. Holy cow. Considering we were playing DeGrom, that may be our best win this year. And finally, boom, breaks out. 3 for 4, 2 runs, 2 RBIs. Devers really was hoping that having Baum behind him would help him out. And it might be, I think it might be that I should go reverse and see how well that looks. I might try that for a while if we go back to losing. And I tell you, Trump, even though Bailey is rated way better overall as a catcher, he is looking good off the bench. And then we got Westbrook's solid start, his first official major league win. 6 innings, 5 hits, no walks, 8 Ks. I think he's going to be, if he just keeps it up, I think he'll be a good starter for a few years here. Game 2 against Atlanta. Was this a 4-game series? No, it's game 3. So yeah, we're at 500 finally, and we win again in extra innings, 6-5. Miyazaki with a couple hits, Bohm a couple of hits here. Bailey, man, what's going on with this guy? He's injured. That could be bad. Simeon 3 hits, but he's struggling. And then Hernandez was injured here, so it looks like it's just a weak injury. I may keep him up there. I tell you, Slater too is looking good. But man, his ratings have taken a huge dive. And then pitching, Barrios, tough luck. He did give up 4 runs, but this was all about the bullpen here to get the win for us. Let me see what the news says. All right, so game. He's going to be out 4 to 5 weeks. So now, game 4 against Atlanta. I know Trump has been on a good run, but I don't know if he should be the starter catcher, and I don't really have any backups here. Jared Thomas, I guess he's decent. He's looking good so far. I'll probably bring him up as the backup and see if we can just ride it out until I put him in there every 5th game. Let me see how he's doing. Yeah, and then but yeah, I hope we can just ride it out until Bailey gets healthy and starts playing the way I'm hoping he's going to play. And Hernandez out a week. He's not going to be playing. I just don't want to. I don't want to lose him too long. If I put him on the IL, he's going to be out for, I guess, 10 days, and I really don't want to do that right now. Let's see how this. Although I guess I could call it Blankenhorn, but let's see how the team handles this next week. So game 4. Who is Jack Walker? Okay, for Oakland. We lose in extra innings, 2-3. Devers with a couple hits. Baum now up to 2 home runs. He's starting to get his production up a little bit. Abram, solid outing. Fairbanks gave up a run here. That may be his first earned runs his first earned run of the season. But he's not being used too much so far. So now, weekly news. Tatis injured. How long is that? Just for a week. Alex Reyes out. So Dodgers 11-10. This should be with us playing them at home, I hope it's a good series. Batters of the week, Ruiz and Kisner, both catchers. And then we have Cavadas here. Man, he's putting up some great numbers at Double-A, but he's really put up good numbers through the minors here, but I just don't see any upside to him. And then power rankings, we have moved up to 14th. So that's good. Standings-wise, we are out of the basement. It's close, but we're just a half game behind the Dodgers in first. And then maybe surprisingly, although we're several years ahead here, 2025 Pirates are looking good. But man, how about the Mets, 17-4? Oakland looking good. Twins off to a great start. So we have nobody on the leaderboard, which doesn't surprise me. One thing that's pretty crazy here, Devin Williams, closer with the Mets now, 11 saves, on pace for 85. Matt Olson with Atlanta, on pace for 74 home runs. I'm going to check that waiver wire again just to see if there's any bats out there, really. We got Vargas, first baseman, third baseman. I like his ratings for offense. I like his speed. His ratings, though, does he have any outfield ability? This is another Dodger. They just go through the players. They have so much depth. I would really like to have this guy. Where could I put him? I know Slater is off to a great start. I don't know if he's going to keep that going. And then, Hernandez injured for another 5 days, and he's really not playing that well. Problem is, if I pick this guy up off waivers, I don't know if he's going to be. He is out of option years. I really like his bat, and it hasn't translated into the majors yet. I like his speed as well, but where would I fit him in? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Hernandez on the IL, try to pick this guy up, and just see if I can find a place for him. He can definitely come off the bench, both as a pinch runner and a batter, and might try him maybe in right field. If you look at his outfield ratings, 40 range, 45 air, 60 arm. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that he could play right? All right, so let's keep going. We got the series now, 3 games against Los Angeles. Game 1, we win 9-1, a great win, and we did pick up Vargas. So take a look at the line here. Baum, another solid game, 3 for 4, drove in 3. Devers, 2 for 5. Hopefully they're getting hot. Schmidt, 2 for 4. I don't know why he's hitting so well, but he picked up his 3rd win, which I think leads the team. So after really poor starts there in his first 2 games, he's really 8+ innings in 3 starts in a row. Vladimir Guerrero, 3 home runs. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fit Vargas into the lineup. So I know he can play third. No problem there. And do I want to spell him? You know, I could maybe put him in there against lefties every 4th game for now. I know he can play first. Slater's going to play second. But I want to try him in the outfield as well. See if he does. I got a spot there for him in left, and then I'm gonna have him pinch hit in that first position, and then he's got enough speed that I think he'll be a good pinch runner. Not as fast as the guys ahead of him, but a little bit faster than Slater. And then against lefties, that was against righties, sorry. So I want him just coming out when Devers is tired. But we'll say against lefties like every 4th game. Give him some time here. I'll keep Slater backing up. And then I'll put him in left and right. Oh, sorry. And then I'll let him come off the bench like he's been doing in that number 1 pinch hitting slot. All right, so game 2 against Los Angeles, going up against Snell. 2-3, a tough one. Man, Profar leading off is looking pretty bad. Again, it's just the offense. McKenna, 2 hits as a pinch hitter, but Santos, you can't argue with that line. I mean, that's a solid outing. Rodriguez blew it, 2 runs in a 1/3 of an inning. So game 3, this would be huge to win the series, and we can't. 5-6 in extra innings. So another poor offensive performance. I mean, Bohm didn't get the start here, but his numbers are starting to shape up. It's just, those around him just aren't doing well. Westbrook's hit pretty hard here. We have the new scouting report, so I'll take a look at that before we move on. So we're at 12-13. So looking at the development here, Will Smith, who's in his last year with us, he's got a vesting option, and he may meet that, just 40 innings, but he's been solid for us. I like him against lefties. I'll probably keep him on. Frisbee now 3.5 stars, getting a lot of strikeouts. Baum lost some potential there. Simeon should be doing better than he is. The power's not coming along, but I think it will eventually. Devers, though, drops to a 3-star player. He's still valuable from OSA, so it might be time to think about a trade. Now, if I just shopped him around right now, I mean, there's some good pitching here from the Braves. Anoa. I like these young guys with some generous contracts, but Aaron Hernandez with Boston, fairly solid 3-star pitcher, but boy, I'd really like to have some offense. Nico Horner, second base, can play shortstop. I think he's got a pretty upside down contract. Yeah, I mean, these next 2 years would be good. And really, if he develops and becomes like a good all around player, I think $14 million is pretty good for him. Mostly, though, what I'm seeing is, what I really don't need as much, and that's pitching. Torkelson, who can play first and in the outfield if his offense is good enough. Josh Lowe, good defensive center fielder. So, I'm seeing some value here being offered from him already. Arenado, boy, that would be crazy, but his defense is still there, but he's starting to take a dive in his offensive ratings. So I think it's worth maybe revisiting as we go along to see if I can move him maybe closer to the All-Star break. Some really pretty high-rated pitchers out there for him. Luis Garcia from Washington. He could be a good second baseman for him. Simeon is in his last year with us, so that's somebody I'm probably gonna, or that's a position I'm really gonna need to think about. So I want to look at some of the award winners for the month. So Willie Castro, shortstop, Detroit, batter of the month, and then Yelich having a good start for him. Pitchers, Chris Sale, 4 wins already. Mitch Keller. He's looked good in this playthrough. He's probably one of the reasons that Pittsburgh is doing as well as they're doing. And man, he's off to a great start. And then rookies, Judson Fabian and Christian McLeod. Not too familiar with him, but let's go and get through the rest of this week. And then I'll take a look at some of our team stats again. So once again, this is Colorado on the road. 3 games. I would love to win this series to get us back to 500, but we lose game 1, 3-4. We got McKenna, who's looked good coming off the bench. Devers, maybe he was injured. Yeah, bruised elbow for a week. And it may be a good time to see what Vargas can do at third. Barrios still, not a great outing, but he has really been unlucky. So let's make sure we protect Devers a little bit for at least this week. And play game 2 at Colorado. 6-7. So we're going backward here. We did get another good game from Bohm. He's given me the numbers, and man, OSA really thinks this guy's pretty good, but his production is getting there. 4 wins above replacement pace right now. Abram, not a bad start for him. He's just not getting the wins, which is the situation he was in last year. I mean, a great season from him, and he only got 6 wins. Lang, his first really poor outing, his first blown save of the year. So now game 3, got to salvage something here, and we don't lose 6-1. So it's looking, it's looking like it's looked for the previous 4 seasons. The offense is just not there. So I'm going to take a look at any news going on out here. Zach Veen at Colorado is looking pretty good so far. Got a no-hitter for Junior Santos of the Mets. Players of the Week, Polanco and Brian Anderson with the Marlins. Derek Mitchell, who was a second round pick for us in 2023. He's off to a good start at High A Eugene. He's moved up pretty well since I drafted him. I think he's probably got some potential. He's, his ratings, if they max out, or, he's the kind of player I'm looking for. But power rankings, we are back down to 25th. And looking at the team stats, I mean, there's a few things we're no longer last in. But it's all about the offense. I mean, look at, we're top 5 in almost every category in pitching and defense. We're second in zone rating and third in efficiency. But we cannot get the offense going. And if I look at the team individually, so Fairbanks is now injured. I didn't know, so we're waiting on that injury report. Will Smith, I think that's just basically 1 or 2 bad outings from him. But the rest of the staff, is looking really good. I know West Fairbanks is negative in the wins above replacement, but I still, that's mainly for those walks. I think he's probably going to be better than that if he's not looking at a tough injury. But we look at the lineup side, and Boehm is now producing. He's doing what I thought he would do, hitting 280, getting some walks, 18 RBIs, 100-plus RBI pace. But Devers here, man, he is just not doing it. And he's under contract for another 5 seasons if you count that player option. I really think I need to kind of move him if that continues. I mean, I was really happy with what he did last year. I thought, he just didn't have anybody around him in 2023, the first full season I had him. But his numbers were still good overall. I can't afford to have him hitting the way he's hitting right now. And he doesn't, he's not the best defensive third baseman, although he's adequate enough. If I look at his career fielding stats, surprisingly, it's not as bad as I thought defensively. But I got to have more from him. And then looking at the rest of the team, I mean, Slater's looked great off the bench, but, he is a bench player, and his numbers, his ratings are not going to hold, I don't think, those kind of numbers for the rest of his year. McKenna's, looking really good. I got him for his defense and speed. His offense is a plus. But then Profar, Ramos, those guys are not who you want starting. Same with Miyazaki. He's really, valuable as a defender only. I guess he does give you some speed here and there, but where am I going to get the offense? That's the question. And I know I have some guys here, who may be worth a look offensively in AAA, like Blankenhorn. I could call him back up if Ramos continues to play like he's playing, for instance. He's looking pretty decent in AAA for sure. And then we got Bishop again with him. I mean, he's just not going to do it, I don't think, in San Francisco. But that's where I'm at. I really need to get some offense going, and it's not going to be, I think, with the team I have that I'm going to be able to win. But I'm going to play around with it offline and probably get back up to the All-Star break and see if we've made any kind of improvement. But I'm going to be willing to just do whatever it takes to get some more offense. Devers, still valuable enough that I might be able to get something for him. Wait till he's healthy again and see if I can do that. Otherwise, I mean, we're just kind of off to that same start that we've had for the last 4 seasons. But I appreciate you guys watching, supporting the channel, and hopefully we're not ready to cash it in and give it up, but it's looking grim again. We gotta make some movement. So I'll try to do that between now and next episode and see if this see if there's anything I can do to start winning. But until then, thanks for watching and see you later.